Right now, you're sitting in your warm house, maybe adjusting the thermostat because it feels a little chilly. But your ancestors survived temperatures 10 to 25 degrees Celsius colder than today, conditions that would kill most modern humans in minutes without protection. And yet, everything you think you know about Ice Age humans is probably wrong. Most people imagine primitive cave dwellers, barely surviving, cold, brutish, simple, but the evidence tells a completely different story. Research suggests that some ancient human populations had larger brain volumes than modern humans. Many Ice Age humans averaged around 1,500 to 1,600 cubic centimeters of brain volume, compared to modern averages closer to 1,350 to 1,400. Your own brain, the one you're so proud of for inventing smartphones, AI, and space travel, may actually be smaller than the average Ice Age human brain. And archaeological evidence suggests human brain volume has decreased by roughly 10% since the end of the last Ice Age. Think about that. Those primitive humans you imagine may have had more raw neural real estate than you do when you forget where you left your keys or feel overwhelmed by modern life. Remember this. An Ice Age human used a larger brain to solve survival problems that would push modern humans to the edge. And they weren't just surviving. 20,000 years ago, your ancestors were creating art that still stuns people today. Deep inside caves like Lascaux Cave and Altamira Cave, they painted masterpieces by flickering torchlight. Galloping horses, massive bison, handprints pressed into stone. These weren't crude scratches made by desperate people hiding from the cold. These were artists who understood movement, shading, and perspective in ways that wouldn't be fully rediscovered until thousands of years later. And in places like Hole Fells Cave, archaeologists discovered flutes carved from bird bones and mammoth ivory dating back over 40,000 years. Music echoed through frozen valleys long before written language existed. These humans thought symbolically, emotionally, abstractly. They expressed the full depth of human consciousness while living in one of the harshest environments our species ever faced. You're holding a smartphone built from thousands of years of accumulated knowledge. They invented art, music, and symbolic thought from almost nothing, alone in the dark. So if ancient humans had larger brains than modern humans, which ancestor was actually more primitive? You or them? Now here's where the story becomes even stranger. While you struggle to start a campfire on a camping trip, your Ice Age ancestors had already mastered fire technology that would impress modern survival experts. They weren't just rubbing sticks together. They developed reliable fire systems using flint, tinder, and carefully prepared materials that worked even in sub-zero conditions where modern matches could fail. And their clothing systems were astonishing. Layered furs designed to trap heat, animal skins carefully selected for insulation, tailored garments sewn with remarkable precision. Researchers studying Ice Age clothing discovered sophisticated designs that protected humans from temperatures capable of shutting down modern cities. These people engineered survival. They also crafted tools so advanced that archaeologists still marvel at them today. Stone blades sharper than surgical scalpels, spear throwers that dramatically increased hunting range and force, composite tools built from multiple materials requiring long-term planning, patience, and technical understanding. Modern humans depend on factories, electricity, and global supply chains. Ice Age humans built everything themselves, from scratch, in conditions most people today could not survive for a week. And then there's navigation. Modern humans panic when GPS stops working. Your ancestors crossed continents. Archaeological evidence shows humans reached places like Australia and Papua New Guinea tens of thousands of years ago using sophisticated navigation and seafaring skills. No satellites, no maps, no engines. They held entire landscapes inside their minds. Migration routes, animal behavior, weather patterns, seasonal timing, water locations. An Ice Age human could mentally navigate territories larger than many modern people have ever explored in their lives. Imagine what that level of awareness actually required. And perhaps the most unbelievable part is this. Ice Age humans adapted so well to extreme cold that they didn't always retreat from it. While entire animal populations migrated away from freezing climates, humans often stayed. Despite originating in warm African environments, humans survived through brutal European Ice Age winters that would cripple modern infrastructure within days. They created layered clothing from reindeer, Arctic fox, hair, and bird skins, sewn together with thread made from wild plant fibers, dyed with color, fitted to the body, functional, efficient, beautiful. The way these humans understood their environment was extraordinary, which raises an uncomfortable possibility. What if modern humans traded peak capability for comfort? Because when you really look at the evidence, Ice Age humans weren't slowly climbing toward civilization. They were already operating at an incredible level of intelligence, adaptability, and resilience. Which brings us to a deeper question. What does human progress actually mean? Because the evidence tells a strange story. Your ancestors crossed frozen continents without maps, built survival systems from stone, bone, fur, and fire, created art so emotionally sophisticated it still moves people tens of thousands of years later, and survived conditions that would collapse most modern cities. They did all of it with no electricity, no internet, no supermarkets, no machines thinking for them. Everything they needed to survive lived inside their own minds. Meanwhile, modern humans can instantly access the knowledge of the entire world, yet panic when the Wi-Fi goes down. You outsourced memory to phones, navigation to satellites, warmth to centralized systems, food to supply chains, community to algorithms. Your ancestors outsourced nothing. That doesn't mean modern life is worse, it means human capability changed direction. Ice Age humans optimized for resilience. Modern humans optimized for convenience. And convenience is powerful until systems fail. Because beneath your modern routines, your brain still carries the blueprint of people who survived ice storms, predators, famine, darkness, and uncertainty, using nothing except intelligence, cooperation, and adaptability. The same nervous system that guided them across frozen wilderness still exists inside you. The same brain that painted cave walls by torchlight, tracked animals across snowfields, and survived winters long enough for you to exist is still your brain. You are not separate from those humans. You are them, just living in a softer world. And maybe the real question isn't whether they were primitive. Maybe the real question is, how much human capability have we forgotten? If this changed the way you see your ancestors and yourself, subscribe to Call Me Different. Because the deeper you look into ancient humans, the more you realize they were never as primitive as we imagined. And the next video goes even further. The impossible journeys your ancestors completed without maps, engines, or modern technology. Journeys that would break most explorers alive today.